start that again. I'm going to try to be a little more clear. I'd like to take it a little slower than that. So,
hey Alex, what's the tempo say?
Tempo is moderato, yes, so I'm trying to go slower than that. Slower than what I was just now, I know. Right here, and, bend, and.
We should add that in permanently. That's great.
Okay, so let's work backwards going that. Let's take a look at 18. So the very first thing is I want this to build. Who can tell me probably where the climax is of this piece?
The last
Yes.
3 notes of measure 21.
Leading to?
The downbeat of measure 22.
Right. So let's build this up through 18. Start a little softer. I'll try to be a little clearer with that. And some of the note changes were getting a little muddy, so let's try to work on that. 18. Everyone. 3, 4. Raise your hand if you heard the violins when we played just now. Yeah. Yeah, okay, maybe one. All right, so the violins have the melody, and I realize that our numbers are kind of askew, but let's try to listen for that, because that is our melodic line here. So everyone else, take it down a notch. 18 one more time.
Oh, really quick.
Yes.
Are you conducting the 9/8?
So the 9/8 is a 4 pattern. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2, and.
Okay.
Yeah. That would have been a good thing for me to tell you ahead of time. 18, one more time. Okay, it was a lot better at 18. I think we can get even more on those 3/8 notes in 21 that lead to the downbeat of 22. And violins, will you play for me at 21 to 23? Everyone listen to their dynamic shaping. So starting on the 9/8. Okay, thank you. I can have you come a little down, a little more down in 22. So let's put a little bit of a diminuendo on there. One more time, again, listen to their dynamics. 9/8 chord, violins. Okay, now in bar 23 on that downbeat, when we all enter, let's match the dynamics of the violin so that we're not hearing ba da da ba da ba ba da ba da. So, be listening for that. Let's go back to 18 one more time. It's worth doing. 18, everyone. Time for tempo. I think we got a couple of false starts on those 8th notes in 21. So let's start on the 6/8, bar 20, bar before the 9/8. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was a lot better. I heard one trumpet take a false start, but we're going to move on for now. Anytime that we have these 5/8, we have the triangles and the lines. We all know what I mean when I say that. Groups of 3/8 notes versus groups of 2/8 notes. So on the triangles, the groups of 3/8 notes, I'd like more emphasis on those and less on the group 6-2. So if I'm going at measure 3, so we're backing off a little bit on the groups of 2, one more emphasis on the 3. Let's take everyone right there at measure 3 and see if we can match that. And the first one was a little much, but I think you guys caught yourself, and for the measure 6 and measure 8, the next groups of 5-8, those sounded a lot better. Let's do it one more time, right at bar 3, and we'll go on this time. Bar 3, everyone. 3, 4. So let's take a look at measure 10 and let's get those grace notes to happen all together. So they're going to be before the beat. Let's just hear that. And so bar 4 and percussion hang out for just a moment here. Everyone on the 5-8, that is grace notes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, one more time and I'll count you off in 5-8 this time for sure. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. One more time just to make sure we have it. Sounded a lot better. And. Yeah. Great. Even more diminuendo in that 3-4 bar. Let's put, let's see, was there anything else? I want to make sure I didn't miss something. Let's put everyone back together now at the beginning, and let's see where we are right now. How much time do I have left, Dr. Smedley?
I'll let you go for another minute here.
Okay, so yeah, let's see where we are right now. Back at the beginning. If I were to go on, the next thing I would work on is, so we are not locked in with those 8th notes at 21, so I'd want to go back and rehearse those. And then violins, make sure we're not holding over too long on the tie between 21 and 22, because then I think the entrance in 23 is a little thrown off.
Yeah, nice job, Alex. Yeah. Good pacing. You got a lot done, during that amount of time, which I thought you did. That was great. Few suggestions. Well, again, I love how you asked the question there. Dan answered. Makes the part of the process, always. That's a great thing. Let's try and listen. Oh yeah, the try, the kind of the Yoda thing. Yeah, there is no try. Okay. Let's and we instead of I. There are a few of those I's that crept in there.
Okay.
When you're modeling, there was one of them you kind of threw away. You remember you were discussing measures 18, 19, 20. I think it was the balance according to what the violins were doing.
Sure.
And you were saying, oh, and don't do it like blah, 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 kind of thing.
Okay.
Where, you know what I mean? And when you model, that's an opportunity. Everyone listen up. I'll take all these modeling opportunities, just as that, as an opportunity to demonstrate good pitch, good tone, good rhythm. Never throw those away. And then immediately after that, you modeled it great. You were discussing the 3s versus the 2s.
Mm-hmm.
On that, what can you do conducting wise to help with that emphasis?
I'd be a little drier on the 2s, so.
Yeah, and in this too, on those, let's show me a 5/8. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Try to use a little more of that horizontal space. I'll go out on your 2. Out more. Yeah, exactly. Out. Up. Good. And then the big difference here, I think, in the beginning, show me what a true mezzo piano would be at the 3rd bar. You're a little more subtle than that, right? So, and that will give you more flexibility later when it does build, right?
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, nice job.
Thanks.
All right. Well, we have Andrew getting up. Andrew, what are you going to do?
Elgar, 91. Yeah, it kind of cuts off in the middle of the phrase almost. Not quite. Trumpets, you're still getting your chops at 12. That's fine. We'll come back to that. So let's start with at the 3/2 bar, 14. Just violins play. I really liked what I was hearing here. Listen to how they're articulating these phrases. 14, the 3/2 bar. Yeah. So someone raise their hand, tell me why we have 3/2 for 2 bars, and then he decides to go into 6/4, articulation-wise. Yes.
Because he wants more emphasis on the front part of those. Like the
Exactly. You're onto it, yeah. So in the 3/2 bars, da 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 da, we have 3 big emphasis beats. In the 6/4, we have an accent on beats 1 and beats 4. Dum bum bum dum dum ba da dum. Let's all try that here at the 3/2.
14.
Yeah, 14. Same place, mezzo forte was good. Piano plus. Give yourself room to decrescendo there in the 6/4 bar. So same place, 3/2. Beginning now, and the tenutos. Let's put a little more on that. I can't think of a more technical way to describe that. Dun, 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 dun. One more push to them. It's very, very smooth and nice right now, and I like that at 9. The sostenuto sounded a lot better, but let's make a big difference that here at the beginning. So, top. Both of us creeping up and speeding up. So let's both slow down. One more time. Dun, 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 dun. Out there. And now. Sounded a lot better. Everyone, when we have a measure of tutti right before the trumpet solo, and in this case violin solo as well, comes back. So for instance, end of bar 4, end of bar 6, and end of bar 8, just for transitional purposes. Let's put a little bit of space after that last note. Just to, I don't want a full lift, I want the full value, but just so we feel like we're moving on to something new.
Which part? Sorry.
So end of bar 4, end of bar 6, end of bar 8, put a little bit of space after those last notes. Let's try it at the tutti, measure 3. Beautifully already is measure 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, kind of building that intensity bar by bar. Now, everyone look in measure 10. I'd like to hear just the top part, and whenever we have these two slurred eighth notes, not that extreme, but put a little bit of lift at that last eighth note, rather than it just being totally smooth and linear. So, measure 10, top part. Let's take the bottom 3 parts now at 9. I want to hear a lot more support, a lot more spin in the air, resonance of sound, that kind of thing. 9. One more time for me, I'll give you that 5, 4, and 11. Measure 9. It's just you on part 3 as much as possible. Bring that out at 9, 2 and 4, and frankly 1. Listen for that as well. 1 and 3 should match up there. Let's get into that now. Measure 6. The last quarter note. We all have staccato. I don't want that super short, but the most important thing is that we're not matching right now. So, da 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 ba da ba dum bum. A little bit rounder. Let's all. I'm going to just give you the cue for that note right there. I want to hear everyone matching. Last note, 13. One more time. Hearing the violins come in a little earlier. Let's meet in the middle. Yes. Measure 9. Going on. totally got lost. A lot better. I'm not gonna go back and rehearse that last note of 13, but it was uniform. Don't need to make a huge point of it though. It kind of stuck out a little bit. So,
I think we'll probably
okay.
wrap things up there.
All right.
Nice job, Alex. Okay, conduct from the beginning and ensemble say quarter notes on da, okay?
Da 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 da
Okay, so are you hearing a lot of difference? No. Okay, so where were you first like, uh-oh, I'm not getting what I want here?
Probably a little bit before the sostenuto.
Okay. Well, let's
maybe-
focus on the sostenuto.
Okay.
That's an easy fix, I think.
Yeah.
What do you want it to sound like there?
Really everything very horizontal, drawn out.
Yeah, and so, in ensemble class, what is happening with his stick right now that's preventing that?
I think there's a little bit too much rebound.
Yeah, the rebound is you're accelerating after the ictus pretty harshly,
Okay.
and all of this. I mean, you're trying to make it more horizontal, but with still that kind of whip action there. So you need to de-emphasize that and make sure the rebound isn't so you're not reacting after the ictus so much. So let's take it same exercise at 9, say da, and see if you can get them to smooth out like you want. Okay. Now, one of the other things too, if you could use less elbow and more wrist with it, that might help you be able to control the baton a little bit more. Okay. Now keep those elbows away from the body, more rounder sound. Yes, yes. That's it, that's it. So oftentimes, I think what's impeding you from getting what you want is that the shoulder hinge and the elbow hinge are very active,
Sure.
and the wrist is less so. So you're not able to get out to that tip. So keep those elbows away, more wrist. Your elbows and shoulders should be kind of only last resort,
Okay.
fortissimo moment kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, great. You have a really great persona up there. You were very businesslike, but I don't want to say friendly, but they will like playing for you. You're not a jerk or anything, and you get things done. And I thought you did very well. You asked some questions, you got them in the mix. I thought that worked really, really well. Rehearsal things specifically, the one thing I don't think they quite got, you wanted that lift after in the end of bar 4, end of bar 6,
Right,
end
right.
of bar 8. Okay. So what did you, when you played it through that next time, was it what you wanted?
I don't think so, and I don't think I really did a good job of communicating what I wanted. I think ultimately what I wanted was not like a huge separation, but more, I wanted to sense that they had the concept of ending the tutti and going back to the solo.
Yeah, so what, I'm always trying to say, what decontextualization, like, what's the smallest amount of music you could have played to get that, so you can get immediate feedback?
I could do 2 bars, I could do like 4 and 5.
Okay.
Or, I
Well,
mean,
what's even smaller beyond that?
I could do like the last 2 beats of 4 and then like the first 2 beats of 5.
Yeah,
or something like that.
I think you should always look for those small chunks, so they play it, and you give them immediate feedback, they do it again. Like, for instance, when you were working on that final note of bar 13, that was a perfect opportunity for that. However, do you remember what happened then? Or when you kept playing that over and over again? That staccato note in 13?
Seemed like it got longer.
I
Did
didn't,
he tell you anything?
I didn't tell you things between.
No, I mean, he just kind of kept going and going.
Yeah.
I think they were guessing, like,
Okay.
use that as an opportunity. Yes, a little bit shorter here, there, whatever. More resonant. I don't know, whatever you're going to have to do.
Yeah.
Each episode should be followed by some feedback.
Okay.
So, good. right. Ryan, what piece are... Very good.
Sir, you're dominant.
Conducting 2 measures in 3, so etc. Alright, so twice as fast. 2 measures get 1-3 pattern. So yeah, so let's practice that 2 through 4 right now. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so good, we have something to work on. So thank you. Measure 17 will be in 1. Let's take everyone at 17. And. Let's work on 17 first. So parts 2 and 3. And. Yeah, make sure we're not getting ahead there. Put everyone in at 17 right there. A little longer on the staccato note. Part 4. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Make that quarter note heard. That leads into the next measure. Part 4, 17. And. Repeat them. Yes, I know that might be a range thing. But the concept is getting there. So. Let's go back to the beginning now. Anytime, look at measures 2 to 3 for me. Anytime we have those half notes, really, not just a crescendo into the next bar, but think of it as taking every bit of your willpower not to make that a glissando, or like a rip into the next. Let's try that. Let's try that at the beginning, everyone. Get more accent on those half notes. So, just the first 4 bars. Just the first 4 bars. And. Okay. One more time. And I don't want to repeat just for the sake of it. So let's start at the beginning and go on. I'm going to try to show you some more dynamics here. Try to follow along before I say anything about it. And. Yeah, so that last one, we're staying forte there. Good. A lot better at the call and response. Now, parts 2 through 4. Bum, 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 bum. Or that's not the right rhythm, but a little more baritone, a little fuller, rounder on that. Yes, accent on your 3rd attacked note, but let's not make it pop so much out of the texture. Let's hear 2 through 4 right there at the beginning. Bum, 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 bum. 1, 2, and. Yes, getting better. I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Put the first part back in. Ba-da-dum-bum-bum-ba-dum-bum. Can't hear this first part right now. And. And make sure on bar 3, beat 1, for instance, we're not clipping that note. It's very subtle, but I was hearing just a hair longer. I know it really lends itself to doing that. And yeah, just part 1 again. 2, 3. Better. Let's go on. We'll go through, for the sake of 17, we'll go all the way through. So, but back at the beginning. It's worth running it again. Short enough. 2, 3. Part 4, getting a lot better at 17. Make sure not to push it too much. I liked that we were holding ourselves more accountable for the tempo, but I felt it getting away from me just a little bit. And that may have been partly my fault too. But part 4, let's make sure we lock right in there. Let's practice some transitions. So 4 before 17, please. Last of the A section. And. Two through four at 17. Yeah. It's very lilting. 2 through 4 at 17.
Was it 2 before?
Sorry. 2 through 4 at 17. The trouble we're having is aligning 2 and 3 with part 4 at 17. So, and part 1, go ahead and finger through your parts while we're doing this. Let's have just attacks. Just attacks, parts 2 through 4 at 17. So, should be this trade-off of notes. Just attacks at 17. Yes, trombone, make sure we're not late on that. I know I told you earlier, don't be early, so split the difference. Getting better, let's go back to, let's try the attacks one more time. I think that was helpful. 2 through 4 at 17, attacks. Good, 17, everyone full value, and take it back to the beginning and to the fine. 17. Not clearly defined by me what that fine was supposed to be.
Okay, a few things. Let's at 17. I think one of the things that could help them. See you kind of came back down to the next beat a little bit too early.
Okay.
So float and more wrist there. Let's take it all at 17. exactly where 1 is there.
Okay.
And if you get there kind of slowly, we just try that. Very wrist. Elbow. Kind of like a snake bite. Yep. And this, going into 1, it's the opposite of when it's slow, right? Because you want to accelerate into you, but this,
Yeah.
accelerate away from it. 1, yep. Ready?
All right, let's do 17.
Stand tall. We're all set. And feel free to stay up there, like up, 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 and don't go down until whoosh, the last moment, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Up, up. Stay there, don't, yeah, and you're kind of like
yeah.
this, like, don't do that, go like up, 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 yep. Okay, I'll try that.
I'm worried about my baton being too vertical. Is that a problem?
Well, yeah, if you're like,
yeah.
like,
Okay.
yeah.
17.
Yeah, there you go. And another thing you can do in here, I'm always trying to look to group these. You could do a 4 pattern, right? Da, da, da,
I thought that's what I was doing actually.
da.
It didn't come across.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
The other thing is, I think your verbal feedback, you just need to slow down sometimes.
Okay.
They're all like, whoa, yes. So just, I think you get up there and you're like, yeah, let's go. And then that's great energy. But I think sometimes you like choose some words that you maybe not, you wouldn't have chosen if you kind of just slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Silence is okay a few times. You know, this is fast music, so you don't want to be talking like this. All right, you know, we want that, but those little moments of silence can help, you know, bring out those, and just slowing down what you say a little bit more can help them understand. There were a few times where they just didn't quite know what you were saying because you said it so quickly. Like 2 before, like they thought like you were saying 2 before
Yeah.
17 because, you know, everyone, you know, parts 2 through 4, 17, here we go. So just slow down a hair.
Okay.
All right, good. Alright, got a little break. Alright, now if I were the lost and found, where would I be? The lost and found.
First order.
Yeah. Let's go down the hall to the facility. What are you missing? Oh.
So apparently I'm not going to be getting my first paycheck. It's going to be mailed in December 16th. From the Kroger Academy.
Yeah.
strings.
They don't even have mirror jokes. They are joking.
You're right. Nice.
Is that over?
Moving back to stand. There's going to be so much bacon.